So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us here in London, and thank you very much for that sneak peek.
Absolutely,
I cannot wait now. I'm actually really excited. So, Jamie, tell us first, how did you come up with the concept for Eureka?
Well, a friend of mine, Andy Cosby, and I had done a movie or two together, and we had the opportunity to do something in television. We sat down to have lunch one day, and he sort of said, well, what would you want to do? And I said I was a big fan of Northern Exposure. I grew up in a small town in Oregon, and was also a fan of shows like X-Files and Twin Peaks and Twilight Zone, as was Andy. And so we kind of, over the course of one lunch, came up with the idea of small town, Pacific Northwest, U.S. Marshal stumbles into it, and it wasn't much longer after that we actually sold the show.
And when you first conceived of the idea, I mean, did you ever in your wildest dreams think how big it would become and how big it is now?
No, I mean, it's a very surreal thing. It's just not. When you're making a show, at first it's just a couple of us. It's it's literally the two of us, and then you sell a pilot, and you get to go off and shoot a pilot, and you have a crew of 100 or so people that get to make it. And then when you're actually making the show, there are really about 200 people that you're working with on a regular basis, and you just never really get a chance to do this. That's why we actually really love coming to these conventions. It's a chance for us to interact with the people who actually make our jobs possible. So thanks to you guys, we've been around for what will be 7 years.
And how did you, both of you, Sally and Matt, how did you get involved in this series?
Well, it was a long process for me. I think I tested for the show twice. And Colin and I, they had some chemistry reads between the two of us. And you never know if, chemistry is an odd thing. You don't know if it's going to, even once we were cast, you don't know if it's going to work out. And then that first scene we shot just felt really good, and we were both sort of high-fived each other. And I was like, okay, I think we work together. So I'm very, very happy and blessed and lucky that everything came together.
And how about yourself, Matt? How did you come to be involved?
Well, I was offered the part, and in the pilot.
So.
Actually, I wasn't offered the part. I paid them to let me do it, and then it was a fairly small part in the pilot, but I thought it had a lot of potential, and and after various discussions with Jamie, and we decided to go forward. And I was really glad I did. It's a great idea, really well written, and great characters, and it was a very happy time. It was terrific to do.
We actually had started shooting the pilot before we knew that we were able to get Matt's deal closed. And it's like we were days into it. It's like, oh God, I hope this closes, because Taggart was just, Matt was so perfect for that role. And luckily we were able to work it out.
And still my favorite character. I love when you're home with us.
And certainly we can see here, I mean, there's a great chemistry, and we can kind of feel it when we're watching the show between the characters as well as the cast. Now, how long did it take to develop that chemistry? I mean, Jamie, what was that as well like for you once you saw all these people that you chose to develop into what's become kind of a family on screen and off screen?
I think what you see on screen is largely because of the chemistry that these guys all have. I mean, I think the one thing that we definitely did right was our casting. And we found people that were not only the right people for the roles, but they're just kind people who are really passionate and enjoy the work and have a very collegial atmosphere on set. And so when they're having fun, I think that really translates to the screen.
What is it like for you two, for Sally, and what is it like for you, Matt, on stage, and when you're on the set?
Well, like he says, we all really do get along. We all sit together during our breaks. Me and Neil of Fargo. For some reason, we love walking around knocking people's scripts out their hands. Gives us great delight. And because he's so funny and so silly. So if you're near us, you should not have anything in your hands, because we're going past and we're like, bam. So, I mean, it just becomes, we're really, we're kids. It's like brothers. Knives, yeah.
It doesn't matter. Got anything in your hand, it's going in the air.
Your iPod, don't have
Dead
that in
meat.
your hand. But, I mean, it's just, we're all joking around. We all love each other. We all love our family in Vancouver. It's very hard for us to leave them, honestly. Very wonderful, nice crew. I can say I don't think I've been around producers and writers this kind ever. So we've been having a great time.
And for you, Sally, particularly, you've had a child during the period of the show, so the child has grown up as part of the Eureka family, so that must be kind of a bit surreal in a sense for you as well.
You mean in real life, my child?
In real life, yeah. You had a daughter during the show.
When I shot the pilot of the show, my daughter was 6 months old. She's 7.
Wow.
And I have a 2.5-year-old now. So we've been there a while.
So, I mean, for you, it must be kind of bittersweet as well, because your child has grown up with Mummy on Eureka as well.
Yeah, it was, but honestly, I think she's kind of happy to have Mommy home. I've been, traveling back and forth a lot. She doesn't know that means Mommy doesn't have a job now, but I think, I couldn't have asked for a better amount of time. It was perfect.
And right, if you'd like to ask questions, as usual, please stick your hand straight away, look. Not even a hesitation.
How much did it cost to keep Turtle in Jack's car?
What was that?
Say it.
How much did it cost you to keep totaling Jack's cars all the time?
What was it again?
Sorry, how much did it keep costing the show to keep totaling Jack's cars all the time?
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. I think it's about $7,000 every time we have to buy one of those old Jeeps. There's a reason that we decided to use the old school Jeep, which was that we pretty much thought that we were going to wreck it occasionally, and it has sort of become one of those things when, how can we destroy it, this week? So yeah, actually, I was going to have a contest to see, who can send me the correct number of ways and total figure for how many times we've destroyed it by the time we wrap up the series.
And we have some more, right? We have some more.
There are some more
Jack
creative
cars
ones coming.
being blown up somewhere.
Although putting it in space, I think, was still my favorite. Sort of seeing it going by the ISS there.
I have a question from a gentleman here.
Is there going to be any more crossovers with Warehouse 13 in the last series?
We did one more with Neil Fargo going over there this last season. I think that's already aired, right? We did that one. Beyond that, I don't know if they're going to use our cast. We were unfortunately not able to work out bringing over Allison to play Claudia again, just because of scheduling. It's a huge challenge just to get, one show made, and when you're trying to make two separately who have different calendars and they're shooting thousands of miles apart, trying to free up actors to travel, to be on set and shoot somebody else's show on the days that they're not shooting their own gets to be a bit challenging. So we unfortunately couldn't do one this year.
And in terms of, for each of you, what has been your favorite moment on the series?
Favorite moment?
Favorite moment?
You know what I still have from season 1, there is when Allison is, me and Colin get stuck together, we're like magnetized or something
to the fence.
on this fence.
Right as Rains is the episode.
And it's still...
That was fun to write.
Yeah, it was still, I know after all these years, I still love, maybe because it was really the beginning of our relationship and the beginning of us really finding that chemistry, but it's that first season. And honestly, the stuff that you guys haven't seen yet is really, our last season is really the best it's ever, the show's ever been, and it's so hard not to talk about it and tell everyone what's going on because, of course, we can't give away the secrets, but the show has never looked better, been directed better. It's just the best, really cool stuff.
And what about you, Matt? What was your favorite moment?
Anytime I could get naked. Honestly, it's very freeing, and is great fun because that's who the character was. He was sort of a nature boy. So when Jamie folded in an actual reason for me to be naked, it was fantastic.
And it was fantastic for all
Yes,
of us. That's
we
my
love
favorite
it.
moment as well.
Yeah, it
Because
was.
he actually walks around like that.
Oh yeah, no, because it was very much a case of action. Stand back. I don't know how big this thing gets. It was great.
If you pretty much look at all the episodes that I've taken a solo writing credit on, somebody's naked. And I actually I wrote and directed one that will come up in season 5, and I managed to get pretty much the entire cast naked. So you've got that to look forward to.
I think you just get that's going to be an interesting episode. I don't know what to say to that one. We have a question here.
It's not really a question, it's just sort of praise for all of you. Jamie, you are an evil genius for that cliffhanger. And Sally, you just completely sold it. And Matt, you just make me laugh every time you appear. Thank you so much for a great series.
Thank you. That's
you
very
so
thoughtful.
much, honey.
Thank you. Kind. Thanks.
And I think that's one of the things that is incredible to a lot of people about Eureka is how much the fans love it. I mean, it's a kind of thing, I heard it best described by one of my friends who watches it. It's the only show he can tune into every week and know no matter what's gone on in his life, he will watch Eureka and smile, laugh, and love it. And I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. So how does it fit? I mean, how did you manage to do that? I mean, it's what people wonder, because TV producers for the world, all over the world would love to bottle what you guys have. And I think a lot of the fans would agree with me to say thank you for that as well.
That's great to hear. I think that for all of us, you know, we have an amazing staff of writers, and we write what we kind of want to watch. And I think these are characters that we all really care about, and they do make us laugh. We care about what happens between them, among them, and you know, for you, your connection with them. I mean, it's a pretty amazing thing that you guys want to spend time with people that we've created, you know, collectively every week. And the fact that you have supported us and that our audience has actually grown every season doesn't happen to very many shows. You know, it's unfortunate that even though our audience is still there and our ratings are still incredibly strong, that the bottom line dollar profit margin wasn't large enough this coming season to, you know, justify it to the network. But you know, these people make us laugh and we care about them, and hopefully that's what happens for you guys too.
Yeah, and it's really sad to leave because, you know, as actors, very rarely do you fall into a special show like this. And Jamie and the writers really found a way to not just make it about science, because at some point, you know, you want to care about the people, and I think that's why people tune in, is because you have both.
Yeah, it also doesn't take itself too dreadfully seriously, too. Even though they're life and death situations, there always seems to be a moment to have a joke. And I mean, that sounds like a flippant thing to say, but it does strip away all the sort of Sturm and Drang that you get with other sci-fi shows. I mean, I always thought it was a very clever blend of dramedy. It's dramedy, isn't it? Drama and comedy that Jamie and the writers put together on a weekly basis. Very clever.
Yeah, we didn't take ourselves too seriously, and I think that you know, for us, really, this was never necessarily a sci-fi show. Really, I always thought of it as a character dramedy that happens to have sci-fi elements. That's the catalyst that happens every week for our characters. But if you guys don't connect with the characters, it doesn't matter how great our visual effects are. And they are great. We have an amazing team that does them. But you know, that's really, for me, that's the reason to write the show.